Happy Friday! Yay! Alright, so normally I hop on here and talk about makeup. And although I am loving my new eyeshadow today that I tried, and maybe I will share that with you tomorrow, I am going to talk about my health in kind of the past year. I had posted earlier in the week that I had fallen, and I guess I just wanted to get on here and just tell you guys kind of how the last year, or a little less than a year, has been, and not for pity and not for attention or anything like that, but just to really share, to bring awareness to it, and to just give some tips on a couple of things. I guess it's been on my mind. I'm not like super excited about talking about this, but a lot of people aren't open about what they go through, and I want to be in hopes that even if it helps one person, it's worth it. So I'm just going to go back to, I guess it was June or July of last year. I had went to the doctor. I've always been kind of scared because my grandfather passed away before I was ever born with a brain aneurysm. So I just kept having some really weird symptoms where I was, I was almost blacking out at times and just real intense pain. And so when I went to my family doctor, because of the family history, thank goodness, he took it serious, and scheduled an MRI. So, how many of you guys have had tests before? You really don't think a lot about it, and you get done and you figure you're going to get a piece of paper in the mail that says, okay, everything's great. Let's see what else we can figure out. So I got a call the next day from the nurse at the doctor, and the approach was kind of weird, but she told me that I was going to have to see a neurosurgeon without even telling me what was wrong. So I'm like, okay, I don't really know. So I fall apart on the phone with this poor nurse. And the doctor actually comes and gets on the phone with me because I'm hysterical, which I should have totally stayed calm, and I didn't. But he tells me then that I do have a Chiari Malformation. So no tumor, no aneurysm. So I was super happy about that and thankful. So he had told me that the MRI had shown that the fluid in my brain was not draining the right way or something along those lines. So basically he told me I would be having to have brain surgery. Well, my level of being emotional went from, here to already crying to huge. I have a family. I stay home and, we do school here, and I couldn't figure out how in the world I was going to have brain surgery and take care of everything that I take care of, So, on top of those fears that, what if something happens, So, anyway, the good news is that I've got into the neurosurgeon pretty quickly, and after reviewing everything, he decided that my condition was not as severe as some, because the way that they usually fix the Chiari Malformation is to do a decompression surgery. So they go in the back of your head, down at your neck, and go up about 6 inches, and they take out a piece of your skull. I'm pretty sure I wasn't signing up for that. So the whole thing with a Chiari Malformation is that, for lack of better words, since I'm not a medical doctor, it's just that my brain does not properly fit into my skull. And I want to make sure that I say this so that people know that my journey with the Chiari Malformation is not going to be the same as anybody else's. So no two people have the same exact symptoms. No two people can find the same exact, there is no cure actually for it, but they can't, there might be a medicine that helps one person with a Chiari malformation and it may not help the other person. I've also heard and noticed that people with Chiari malformations have different symptoms. So because I experience one thing doesn't mean that the person next to me will experience it. So when I was sitting in the neurosurgeon's office, and he tells me that I'm not going to have surgery, I'm very happy. He asked me how I was managing it, and honestly at the time I was just managing it with Tylenol, and I had changed my diet at that point because I think so many foods do have things that cause you, inflammation in your body. And so I feel like if you can take that away, then it helps some. And I had exercise, so that helps some. He gave me the option at that point to go see a neurologist, and basically told me that there was probably like a 50-50 chance that the neurologist would have medication that would help. And so if you know me at all, you know that I cannot hardly take medication. I have reactions to stuff, or I throw up, which is gross, I know, but it's just the way it is. So I really didn't feel led or that God wanted me to go at that time to see if there was medications that could help. So now after that diagnosis, just how has my life been? It's been good. I mean, I have a lot to be thankful for. There are some patients or people who have Chiari malformations that have no quality of life whatsoever. There are some that go have surgery, the decompression surgery, and end up worse than how they first started. I think that's kind of the tricky part to this, is that you get to the point where you would get desperate for relief or desperate for help. You would try the surgery, I guess, and then, how heartbreaking would it be to go through all that, excuse me, and it not work, so that's kind of been my fear. Plus, they don't think that mine's severe enough, which is great. I just want to make sure everybody knows that, I'm not speaking on every single patient or person who has a Chiari malformation. I'm only speaking on my journey because they are so different. So diet and exercise has helped a lot, but there are still times that I have what they call flare-ups. And they're different every time. I've not had one flare-up against another be exactly the same. So some of the symptoms I've incurred has been, numbness in my arm, numbness in my face, so bad to where I couldn't eat or talk. This last week, when I had the two happen, my leg went out. I mean, it just went numb and I fell. And so, it's hard. But, I'm thankful because there are people who are going through so much worse, And so I really wanted to share this for more than one reason. So not everybody is open about the journeys that they go on, okay? Maybe they're not comfortable, and that's okay. I figure if God has given me this, the least I can do for me, because I'm open about it. I mean, my mom and dad has always taught me to not be ashamed of who I am. And, what if it really does help somebody, It's worth it, even though I'm crying right now, sorry. So, you don't know what people are going through, so try to be compassionate. Some people you may never know that they have, a chronic illness, or maybe you don't know that they have an autoimmune disease, or, maybe something's wrong, but you don't know exactly what it is. it's not our place to have to know those things, but it is our place to love and support people. I've had a lot of love and support from family and friends through this, because there's been times that I've, made plans to do stuff or should be at certain places at certain times, and I can't be, and people so far seem to be really caring and loving about it, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm just asking everybody to be that way toward people, because everybody's fighting a battle that people may not know about, and we may never understand why God has us go through it, but I can promise you that he'll get the glory for it, and that's all that really matters, so anyway, I don't really think that there's anything else I wanted to share, but I just really want to stress that kindness and support is just everything to people, because these illnesses, like, I have this forever now. There's no getting rid of it unless God chooses to heal me, and that's okay. I hope that I can carry it the way he wants me to carry it, and I hope that somehow, some way that I can help somebody else. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, because you can write posts all day long, but there's no emotion behind them sometimes, and really getting to go back and speak like word for word of what happened over the past year. So anyway, I love you guys, and I'm usually talking about makeup, which I love, but sometimes it's good just to talk about what we're going through, and I just wanted you all to know. And if you know somebody that has chronic illness or autoimmune stuff, just be loving to them. Be kind, be compassionate. And so many times we tell people that we understand what they're going through, but you really don't. I literally could have someone sitting across from me right now who has the same condition I have, and I could not tell them that I knew what they're going through, because physically and mentally we all handle things differently. I would suggest, maybe trying to ask questions, support them, love them, and just, try to love people like Jesus loves us, because that's all we really can truly do. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you all listening. Again, it wasn't my favorite thing to share my struggle, but I really felt God calling me to do it, and I hope that it helps, blesses, touches somebody, and I just hope I can be a help to somebody through it. So I'll see you guys later.